Hey guys, someone emailed me a while ago and asked that I go over some of my more popular videos and maybe talk about how they became more popular, maybe give some tips, talk about the ideas that were behind them. And so I looked and thought it might be cool to go over my 10 most viewed videos on YouTube and talk about how they became as popular as they did. So the 10th most viewed video on my YouTube channel is called The World's Most Powerful Dual Sport Enduro Motorcycle. And probably the main reason that it has as many views as it does, over 200,000 I think, is because it has that title. People are searching for motorcycles and that pops up, or a KLR and it pops up, and they think, well, what is it? And they go and watch it. And some people feel like tricked or something because obviously a 40 horsepower bike isn't the world's most powerful bike, but it's a joke. It's like satire on the fact that the GS is so expensive and the KLR is so cheap. Even if you had the money to pay cash for a GS, it's probably smarter or funner to go and buy 4 KLRs and give 3 of them to your best friends and you guys all go on a big ride somewhere rather than buying that bike. So it's just kind of a joke on the GS, I guess. These pictures that play at the beginning are there because Mitch and I, we went out, we were in southern Utah, and I filmed him, just a bunch of random stuff. Filmed him riding around, filmed him doing different stuff, different shots of the bikes and angles, and then I needed something at the beginning of the video as filler because once I got home and started looking at the footage, that's when I wrote the story. I had no idea that this was going to turn out the way it was going, the way it turned out when I was filming. I wrote everything after the fact. The music for this video is, I believe it's the William Tell Overture, and it's a very old recording of that piece of music, which is why it doesn't sound so great, but it's in the public domain, which means it's copyright free. So that's why, I mean, it's also a good song, but that's why I picked this older version of that song. This video gets a lot of comments about that luggage system. People want to know how to make it or where Mitch bought it. Well, it's a total custom job. I was actually in a gun store one day and they were selling ammo boxes that size. And I called Mitch right there and I'm like, dude, I'm holding an ammo box that cost $30 that's the same size as the ammo as the Al Jesse luggage that's on my GS, which costs like $1,000. So he ordered some and then ordered a rack without any boxes from a company and just drilled some holes in it and put it on. And the boxes on the front are held there by some electrical EMT like conduit straps, and that's all there was to it. We actually sat down and drew up plans for our own style of luggage system, like completely original, had a lot of cool features that we came up with because we've lived for months out of motorcycles. So we went to some welding shops to see how much it would cost to build our designs, and it was just a crazy amount of money for 2 poor guys who were never in the same place for very long. So we couldn't really start a business when he was in the Army moving around a lot and I was getting ready to leave for Panama. So things got shelved for a while, but maybe someday in the future, I don't know. Those boxes actually have saved his bike several times. He laid it down. I remember one time we pulled up in a parking lot and he had a cup of coffee in his clutch hand. We had just stopped at Starbucks and he came to a stop and he was trying to stop but he couldn't grab the clutch. So I had stopped and I was trying to run over and grab the coffee from him so he could get the clutch, and we couldn't sync up, and the bike fell over. And it was like, it doesn't matter because it just hit those ammo boxes, which are cheap, easily replaceable things. For these shots where the camera is moving, we had a friend with a Jeep Wrangler, and we took the top off it and we took the doors off it, and I sat in the passenger seat and we just followed Mitch around as he drove in random places. And between the optical image stabilizer in my camera, the Canon Vixia, and a little bit of iMovie image stabilization, it really turned out really smooth for how much that Jeep was getting bounced around. It turned out really smooth.
So eat your livers, motorcycles of the enduro world, because the KLR can do anything you can do, and it can do it cheaper.
I use the term "eat your livers" a lot in my videos where I'm like talking trash, because and I get that from a book called Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. It's my favorite book of all time, and there's a character in there that tells people to eat their livers all the time, so that's why I use it. So that's the video. That's my director's commentary, I guess, of that video. If you want to go watch the whole thing without me blabbering over the top of it, then I'll post up a annotation right here and you can go check it out.
Ready for the apocalypse right off the showroom floor.